difference between hearing and listening.
Yes.
You can hear, but it's not important. You need to listen.
I talk about it a lot in my communication skills courses because, look, we're all guilty of it. I am too. It's human nature that when we have a conversation and I'm talking to you, and while I'm talking to you, what are you doing? You're thinking about what I'm saying and how to respond. And if you're thinking about what I'm saying and how to respond, it's very hard to listen.
True.
You're hearing me. So what I say to people is, rather than go back and forth, it's okay to pause. Humans do not like silence. We don't like a moment of silence. We find it extremely awkward, which is why as soon as somebody's talking, we either interrupt them, we talk over them, or as soon as they finish talking, we respond. It's a very unusual thing.
I have a mentor. He told once that whenever someone is telling you something, let them conclude it, take a 2-second pause and respond. First thing, the person will feel that they were heard.
Right.
Second, you will have ample of time to conclude their talk, process it, and give the best of your answers.
Right. I think that's great advice. I think that's great advice.
Now, it would take me 4, 5, 6 years to learn that, but because I had a mentor, got it, and within few months,
You started applying it. It's interesting. A few years ago, I was invited to speak at a town hall.
Mhm.
There were a couple hundred people there. And the site leader of that facility had a few guest speakers. I was one of them. And I happened to be the last one. And so after I sat down, he opened it up for questions and answers on all the presentations. And he got up and he said, "Does anybody have any questions?" "Okay, good. Thank you everybody for coming." And he came up to me after and he said, "What did you think?" I said, "Well, I thought the speakers were amazing, great content. Can I give you some feedback?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You've got to pause on the Q&A part." "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you gave about a half a second." I said, "There's 300 people. We've been here an hour and a half. They've heard from 4 different presenters. There's a ton of information. People process things at different speeds. You've also got introverts who don't typically want to put up their hand in front of hundreds. You got to say, anybody have any questions? I'm just going to look around the room here and see if there's any brave souls. You got to give them time, right? Just let the content breathe. Let it sit, and then someone will put up their hand. But we don't love silence. So instead we say, anybody have any questions? Great. Perfect. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great night.
So I think third pillar goes with communication.
Huge. Huge. And it's interesting because I'm a communications expert sort of by trade. It's how I started my career and I've been doing it always. And we talk a lot about it in helping to inform and shape cultures. And it does play a critical role, but you can't just tell people about what to expect, and you can't tell them to behave and expect them to behave that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, communication can help with awareness. Yes, it can help with education and understanding. Yes, it can help to reinforce when we see people doing things that we want them to do. It can do a lot. You've just got to not over-expect from communication that that's going to be the way to shape your culture.